Brandon Figueroa just put Nick Ball into the shadow realm, slept him, stopped him. The referee decided no mass. Nick Ball had no more to give, and Brandon Figueroa in the 12th round becomes the new WBA featherweight world champion. Now, in a fight that was very competitive, very close, and a lot of people in going into that 12th round, some people probably had Figueroa winning. I personally had Nick Ball winning, but it was close. It was competitive. You know the way Nick Ball fights, he's going to push the pace because he has to. He's going to close the distance because he has to. He's going to throw a lot of punches, again, because he has to. And Brandon Figueroa, he got some distance. He landed those clean shots, put him out. And that's really all it takes. And I think people often forget that, Nick Ball gets hit a lot. He gets hit a lot, and you can be exciting. Being exciting is cool. It's fun. And granted, he sells a lot of tickets, and he sold out. I don't know if he sold out the M&S Bank Arena in Liverpool. I don't know if he sold it out, but it seemed pretty full, and it was a decent turnout for Nick Ball, especially because, like I said, similarly with the Boots fight in Philadelphia, nobody is there buying a ticket to watch Brandon Figueroa fight. He's not a bum. He's not a scrub. He's a very good boxer, but you have to be realistic about commercial draws, right? Everyone in that arena, and that's why when Brandon Figueroa knocked down Nick Ball the first time, the arena was silent. Nobody was there for Brandon Figueroa. No one wanted Brandon Figueroa to win. Granted, that actually makes it even more impressive of a win, in my opinion, because he went on away turf, was competitive for all 11 rounds, and then come the 12th, slept him. Crazy knockout, and showed that Nick Ball, he's at the level because he's not at the level. Granted, I'll be honest, maybe he's not at the level, because this was the best opponent Nick Ball's fought, hands down. The best opponent Nick Ball's fought, and he stops him in the 12th round. Granted, it was competitive for all 11. Nick Ball boxed very well, or as well as Nick Ball was going to box. Nick he's a brawler, and I know people will be, well, that's reductive. It's not. He closes distance, he gets in close, and he throws a lot of punches. He's a brawler. He has to be though. And there's nothing reductive about that. If you're a brawler, you're a brawler. That's your style. Make it work. Become a world champion. That's what he done. He made it work. He's a world champion. Not anymore, but he was for a while, right? But honestly, it probably will be a fight I'll watch back a couple of times because the first 11 rounds, they were good. And that knockout, the first knockdown was crazy. Nick Ball was flat on his face. He was out. For a couple of seconds, he was out, right? He comes to, he's able to recover for the 10 count, and then Figueroa, he smells blood, and Nick Ball's done. When you go out on your face like that, you probably should call it there. But granted, he's world champion. Referee wants to give him every opportunity to defend himself. But it was early in the round, and there was no way back for Nick Ball. After you get dropped like that, there's no way back. And Brandon Figueroa made an example of him. Brandon Figueroa has lost before. He lost to Stephen Fulton Jr. Again, that's a win that's aged really well for Stephen Fulton Jr. And we've now got a new champion in the featherweight division. The featherweight division is a very interesting one, very, very slept on. Was slept on when Nick Ball was a champion, but there are some interesting fights to be made there. And, my guy, Stephen Fulton, cool boy, Steph, bro, we'd be chatting on X, we'd be chopping it up on X, bro. Consider moving back down to featherweight, bro. You can clean up. Shout out to you, Stephen Fulton Jr. But, yeah, let me know what you guys think of this fight. What you thought of Nick Ball v Brandon Figueroa. Was you expecting this result? I can't lie, I wasn't expecting it. I was not expecting Brandon Figueroa to go there on away soil and stop Nick Ball. Was not expecting that. But Brandon Figueroa done exactly what he needed to do to win that fight. He stayed competitive. He was in the fight for the duration of the fight, for the duration of the 11 rounds. And then come the 12th, he found an opening, took it, landed a clean shot, put Nick Ball out. One of the hardest things to do in boxing, in my opinion, is get a knockout that late on. Because yes, Nick Ball was tired, definitely. But Figueroa must be tired as well, because Nick Ball was pushing the pace, right? So yeah, be super curious to know what you guys thought of that fight. Let me know in the comments below. Was you surprised to see Brandon Figueroa win and become the new featherweight champion? Or was you expecting Nick Ball to, run through Figueroa and make another title defense? Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Another episode of the Seth Solo Side Quest in the bag, and I'm out. Peace.